Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. It's early in the morning, sun at my back, getting ready to do a little work in the garden, and I thought I'd bring you along and we'd take a look at how things are doing. With my 20-foot shadow, it's started out 40 degrees this morning. It's been it's really a nice relaxing time when you can get out in the garden and you can just look over it and you see things. Even the weeds look different in the morning. But we'll come down here and we'll take a look. I'll move to the other side so the shadow doesn't get you, but the garlic is really looking nice. We do have remnants of the brown tips from the freeze. Of course, all my greens are good and healthy, ready to go. I think I'll pick some of these out of here on Friday and carry to the farmer's market. Garlic is really getting some size on it. My transplants are really good. I even threw in a couple of petunias on the end of the row. We'll get some flowers out here. These right here are my seed onions. These are actually second-year onions, so they should go to seed. They were basically all the way died back pretty much, just kept shooting back out, and now they're going. And this is the start of my bunching onions that I'll start harvesting some of these. These right in here, you can see the light level now. The sun is starting to creep back, but these don't get quite as much light as these down here, but you can notice that they're all kind of curved, and that's towards the south, and that's because that sun's still kind of in the southern hemisphere. It's coming back, and once it comes back, which they'll stand straight up. I have a few of my beets left. I'm thinking about leaving a little clump right here, let them go to seed, collect some seed off them. But I'll probably harvest most of these this week. There's not very many left. I'll probably carry some to the farmer's market. Now these here, and it's about time to do some weeding in amongst these little ones. But these here, you can see the difference in the second batch of seeds that I've sown, how much smaller they are. But they're coming along. These will come in just right. Those others will kind of be used up, and then we'll have these other ones starting out, which this is good, because normally this is when we would set out transplants and they would be about this size, so they're perfect. The fennel is looking really good, and my bright lights chard, it's really coming along good after the cold weather, which cold got quite a bit of it, but it didn't kill it. And of course we got some more garlic here, and we'll go across and come back up this other way. We'll stop and look. The blueberries, the freeze has got them. I don't know, looks like they're starting to bud some leaves out, so it shouldn't be long they'll be back up. And I definitely got to get down here and weed and get some mulch down in here. You can see how fast it comes back compared to where it's been covered with the compost. But we'll head back up here. It's always nice to see these things. Now this is the rows where I planted the potatoes. I still have this end of this row right here that's not planted. I'll figure something for there, but we have potatoes and more potatoes. We put some more petunias in here. They shouldn't be long. These are some that I grew from seed, and it shouldn't be long they should start flowering, which should bring in some of the pollinators. We have some more potatoes here, and it's still just a little bit early for them to be popping out. Now right here we have some lettuce. This is a red leaf variety, and it's taking hold good. These should be great. And then that other's a butter crunch. And we have more beets. This is our new beets, the newest ones. These were just put in just a little bit earlier. And then the end is red beets. These are golden beets. And over here we have some more red beets that's put in. And we'll go over here and see our asparagus that we put in from seed is growing. It's a little bitty. I didn't expect it to be much more, but let it establish some roots. It'll take a few years. Our herb bed here, it's got one little weed in here. We'll just get rid of it while we're down here. But we have our parsley. It's recovered good from the freeze. The oregano, it doesn't even seem to been affected at all. And we've got a couple of little garlics that's coming up in here. They were from the previous bed whenever we moved the soil from there down to here. And of course we got a couple different kinds of chives, and they're doing good. And this time we're fixing to harvest this and dehydrate it because it's definitely needs cut back. And we have some more asparagus here. It's not popped the ground yet, but we're waiting. We'll go back up here. We've got some cabbage that has kind of grown through the winter. It should start taking off now. And we've got some kohlrabi. Some of them starting to form little bottoms on them, little things, not very big. And of course we've got some other cabbage here. Now some of this is flat Dutch and some's early Jersey, but they're all getting little heads, and some more red cabbage in here is doing good. And of course our Dinosaur Kale, it's doing really good. It should start really start growing now. It grows slow anyway, but and we stuck in this new batch of Dinosaur Kale in here. It's doing good. Now this was where we seeded in greens, and of course it's easy to see they're starting to pop up. We have some mustard. We have some turnips, and we have some red mustard, and they're all starting to come in. We'll go back up and go over here. These transplants are doing pretty good. There's a lot of them's broccoli. It'd be early spring crop of broccoli. And my fennel that grew back from its roots, but what I wanted to look at was my leek up here. Apparently I got a rabbit that likes coming in here and chewing off the tops of the leek. I'd started putting in some fencing to keep them out, but it hasn't quite got put up. We went down one side, but of course that's not going to do good. And I did see the little bunny out here the other day, but Gigi, she's just not fast enough as that bunny because it got away. Now our onions, these are our Texas granos, yellow granos, and you can see the tops that were down on these whenever it got cold, how they're standing up. Now when you plant your garden, be aware you can tell the long shadow of the morning how much of your garden is covered by a certain area. So when your crops don't thrive quite as much, you'll know what the problem is. And the intent today is to come over to this area, and we've got some more onions that need to be put out, and got the compost. I'm reworking one bed there. We're going to plant it with some Brussels sprouts that probably will be a waste of time, but we're going to try really putting the fertilizer to them and see what happens. And this is my peas, and we'll see how quick they come up. We've got some empty beds here ready to start planting. 3 empty ones. Over here is our other leek. This is a little older than that the rabbits have got after this first batch, and then this is just a little bit behind that, behind this one here. So in between here, and I'm not seeing it just quite yet, but this row is cilantro. This row is carrots, and I'm almost thinking about covering these to get them to germinate, make sure they germinate. We have some more lettuce over here. It's just a little bit behind that other, and I don't remember if I did a video on planting this, but these were planted from the 200 cell trays. So they were little bitty cells put in here, and we had real good bunch of them take hold. And then what we've got down here is little radishes. Got 3 different types right here, and looks like they're starting to come in pretty good. More cabbages. This is a different type of cabbage. I can't say the name. And it looks like there's probably a early Jersey or so stuck out in here because of ones that died. And this row here has got a couple of cabbages. We're going to redo the drip line. This has the 700 series tube with the emitters on it, and we're going to change it to drip tape. So that'll be one of those jobs. And of course we got another row here. I'm thinking about taking probably that row and putting watermelons in, because I have a 6-foot area that's wide enough that I could drive my 6-wheel through down here if I needed to pick up things. But it gives a good area for like vining for like watermelons and such. So I think I'm going to plant that row in watermelons. This one here, I'm still waiting for these cabbages to fill out. They were all really planted late, so they went through the winter. They're slow growing, but now that it's warming up, they should really take off. I have an empty row here, and then over here I have some more carrots. Now this was the carrots I'd planted some half-long, well, and I got a dog that just thinks it's nothing there. But I planted the half-long Danvers in here, and they didn't come up. So now I've replanted this with the Tender Sweet and keeping it moist, but I might cover it up too. All the other varieties using the same system germinated fine. Which I have, I'm thinking 1, 2, 3 varieties up here. So it's a lot of purples, cosmic purples, I think, purple haze, and something else. Now our red onions, these are a red Texas guano. They're doing good. Really good. They're good and healthy. We have another empty row. We're probably going to replant this with tomatoes. We're not going to rotate out this crop. We'll just amend the soil good and go on. Now all the strawberries are doing good, and they're loading up with strawberries on here, so won't be long. We'll be eating a bunch of strawberries, but we definitely got to get some mulch down here and get these weeds out because it's taking over. We have, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 empty rows over here, and we're going to start putting out cucumbers, tomatoes, and peppers. Now we will be using row covers because it's still a little early, and we don't want to risk them getting damaged. So we'll get our hoops back out and we'll put row cover on a lot of these, and they'll be able to grow under there until it's past the average last frost, and then we'll pull that off and we'll put our support system in that we're going to use for our tomatoes and cucumbers, and probably stake our peppers, or we might just wait, stake the peppers afterwards. Now let's go take a look in the greenhouse. Right now I'm working on a greenhouse that we're going to put out in this area here and come all the way up. We're going to incorporate this section of the garden in a greenhouse so that we can grow better. Now I have my peppers. They're over here on this side, and where they'll get plenty of sun. Some of these plants were started quite a while back. We have tomatoes. These are some black cherries here, and they're getting about a foot tall or so. Of course, we buried them pretty deep, so these are some good healthy plants. Our peppers here, we've gotten jalapenos, and we've got some pretty and sweet, and some habanadas, and then we've got a couple of big bell peppers, and I think a couple of big jalapenos, and we've got 3 eggplants on the end. So we'll start all those out here. We have a whole lot of plants that's going to need put out, and we'll get those out. Now this here is my onions that I had a problem with seeds coming up. These are a Spanish white, and I'm going to take these few onions that did survive, and I'm going to plant them out and just let them go to seed, so I maybe get some good seed. Here we have these are Cracker Jack Marigolds, and we've got some early Jersey cabbage there, and then this is just a mixture of things that I put out that's leftover seeds. Now I have had a little more problem with my beets germinating. I had tried to get another set up, and as you can see, it's really sparse. They are coming up, but the seeds are real erratic. Even though they were inside at first, I finally moved them out, and they're starting to pop up a few more, but it's real erratic. I have some cabbage here. I've got a red mammoth that I'm going to plant. Got a few more early Jerseys on the end, and then got this, I'm trying to think what that is, Calabos, I think, but I've never had good luck. That's all I had out of about a third of a tray of 200. So, and I have some poor lettuce here, and these flowers, they need to go out. They're definitely outgrown their pot. and a few more flowers right here. And then we start with many different kinds of tomatoes. Tomatoes, 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 tomatoes. Up here we have our next batch of lettuce. This is a heat wave variety, so hopefully it'll do good a little ways through the hot weather when we turn hot in the spring. And then a few more peppers that were real early ones. And we've got a bunch of different tomatoes here. We have our amazing cauliflower that's kind of just dying. It's got water, but it just something about it. It's not doing too well. Over here, we need to plant up. This is some curly mustard. I'm going to plant it up into cells probably today. There's a few extra plants there. And we got some Sweet Williams and some more petunias. These ones will go to my mom's house. We've got some more bell peppers in here. I mean, not bell peppers. Eggplants, some black beauties, and some, I'm trying to think what, one Rosetta eggplant. And then we've got some peppers over here. And some more different varieties of peppers, more different varieties of peppers, more different varieties of peppers. And then a few more Sweet Williams. These are the onions we're going to get out of these trays today. We'll get these in the ground. They kind of got, a bunch of them got hit by that freeze. Didn't realize it was going to get that cold. We've got a few more terrible Sweet Williams there. Here's some more tomatoes. Aren't looking like they like it too much. And then this is our Brussels sprouts. We'll plant these today. For those of you that see my my ground cherries that were inside, and you realize these ones were just really getting leggy here. And of course they weren't germinating real good, so I brought them out here. And as you can see, we've got almost 100% germination. We have one cell that the seed didn't come up, so we'll have to make sure we make an area for those ground cherries to go in. This is going to be a first year for that. But anyway, that's where we're setting. Our lettuce is all doing good. Our tomatoes that we've set out here in the greenhouse are doing good. In fact, this lettuce really needs picked. We'll pick some of the bigger outside leaves today, and then we'll harvest the rest for the farmers market this weekend. And looks like everything is doing great. So anyway, I hope this encourages you to get into that spring planting, get your beds ready, get those seeds started, and let's grow. If you want to see more of my videos, well, hit that subscribe and bell button so you'll be notified. Give it a big thumbs up, and take and share this video. Hit that like button. That really helps my channel. Happy gardening.